let's try this again. Take two. Let me try to get my devices set up first. And see if it's working this time. I think we're good. Hello, Rosa. Stella, welcome. Chantel, now I understand the whole lace thing. Yeah, I do not know why it does it because I did not restart my phone. I just went out of it and came back in. So kind of crazy. Let me get my other device set up here. I do not know why. And welcome, everybody, welcome. So I have to kind of start from the beginning. Stampin' Up wants me to tell you that I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the United States. So it's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. I'm coming to you from Wisconsin. And we're going to pretend that it's Monday, April 20th at 11:59 p.m., even though we're probably all, maybe not, some of us are probably already in Tuesday. But welcome. I'm glad you're here. Glad the sound is back. How is everybody? How was your Monday? Let's just, okay, wait a minute. There. So let's get on with some of this stuff. You know where to find me. latenightLori.stampinup.net. Last chance products. Product of the month that we played with, which is pretty fun. This is a smoking hot deal. I'm sorry it's raining by you, Rosa. I don't even want to think about rain because MacMan and I were driving around today after we took our granddaughter to meet her mom. And just the amount of flooding that we have in our area from our storms last week is just incredible. So, yes, hello from the future. Thank you, Sala. Well, I'm glad Tuesday's looking brighter than Monday. So, Chantel, where, I forgot, are you from Australia too? Are you near Perth? I've forgotten. So anyway, this is a smoking hot deal. In the United States, you can get it for $5 if you have a qualifying purchase. I won't belabor that issue. We've got an album retreat coming up next week. Order yours, be there, be square, whatever. If you're into memory keeping, it's a great set of masterclasses. It runs 3 days. It's awesome. We're also in an open enrollment period, subscription period for Paper Pumpkin. If you've not already subscribed, you should think about subscribing. They're pretty fun. We've got a new catalog coming May 5th. So May 4th, our old catalogs are going to go bye-bye. And the new calendar is getting released with all kinds of new things, new online exclusives. If you're not a demonstrator, if you don't have a demonstrator, you would like a demonstrator, I would love to help you with your crafting needs. If you want a catalog, if you're in the United States, you can work with me as far as ordering and joining or whatever. But shoot me an email, lorimacari@gmail.com. Zoom in on it if you can't see it good enough. And the color coaches are here. So stay tuned for some info on that. I'm going to have a little special coming up, I think. So I'll get to that at some point. So the last couple of nights I've played with the new Paper Pumpkin kit. So somebody just said they got their Paper Pumpkin today. Was that, who was that? Maybe that was on the one that had no sound. Yuta, did you say you got your Paper Pumpkin kit? Somebody, I think, said it on the last one. I don't know. But I thought I would not do Paper Pumpkin tonight because not everybody gets Paper Pumpkin. Oh, Chantel, you finally got yours. Yay. And it's what, about 1 in the afternoon for you, Chantel? Thank you, Sally. You're so, see, I need you here all the time, my dear. You remind everybody to give me the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And Sala is in Finland. And I don't remember. What are you, like 11 hours ahead of us? 12. Is it like 11? Is it before lunchtime for you? I've kind of lost track. So anyway, I thought we would play with this today. It's just really simple. There's not a whole lot. There's 10 stamps. There's 6 dies. This is a brand new set. And there's a cute little sample, couple of little samples on the website that is available for demonstrators. So I thought I would, oh, that'll work. I thought I would just play with this a little bit. I thought I would case one of the catalog samples. Actually, this is an online exclusive. But I thought I would case it using the in colors. So the colors that are in the sample look like it's Pretty Peacock, maybe, yeah, the coral. What's that coral color? See, with these new in colors, I've forgotten. If Wisconsin's on Central Time Zone, you're 8 hours, Sal. Okay. So, oh, that's right, because usually when you would come on to mine, Amanda was getting ready to go to school, right? So, yeah, Wisconsin is Central Time. So it's a little bit over 8 a.m. All right. All right, so I'm just going to wash these because they have, like, production oils and stuff on them. And then we'll kind of prep this to stamp our little sample. I like to do Versamark first. Just a little bit on there. That's a slow drying ink, and I like to think that it helps my other inks kind of stick to it a little bit. But it might not. It might just be my imagination. Who knows? And then with the new stamp cases, I've shown you all this before, but let's go ahead and do this. How is Amanda doing, by the way? And your other daughter, I'm trying to think her name. I don't remember. She's the younger one, though. I remember that much. All right. I think that'll work. Yeah, prepping the new stamps ahead of time, in the long run, I think it's worth the effort. And I like having this inside my stamp case. Those are the dies. I like having this inside my stamp case so I can see what I have, what's missing. And then what I've started doing is the carrier sheet, the very flimsy one. I put that right over there. It seems to be working for me. I don't know if I'll continue with this method, but it seems to be working for me right now, so we're going to go with it. And I'm just using regular tape on here. And I'm just going to try to tape down all the corners because sometimes it comes up. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know. We'll see. But then when I put this down on the other carrier sheet, then I can see exactly where everything goes. So make sure that you always keep the plastics, because if you lay this inside either the papers or on another paper, it's going to cling to that photopolymer and you're going to get paper all over your stamps. So you're probably not going to like that. So anybody who is going through a rough time and needs a little pick-me-up with feel better soon sort of thing? There's usually somebody I know that's having something done. You know, I know more and more people that are having like knee replacements and hip replacements, and I think it's just because I'm not as old as I used to be. So Rosa, you need it? All right, let's do this. I don't know what color I want to do the sentiment in, but I'm going to kind of, I think we're going to do the card base in, these are our new in colors. So we've got Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, and Hydrangea Hue. All right, so I've got all those colors. And I'm kind of forgetting what some of our other colors' names are. It's crazy. And Rosa, what's going on with you? I'm sure I have a note written down for myself and I can't find it right now. I know you'd been sick for a while, right? So before I go too far into this, I should probably cover a couple of things. When I was on my trip, one of my friends sent me a card for Easter because we were gone over Easter. And this was the card she sent me. I thought it was adorable. None of it's Stampin' Up, so you're not going to be able to find the products on my store. But I thought this was so cute. All of these little pieces are die cuts, or I think they're dies, because she usually buys die sets. I don't know where she normally gets her stuff from, but I thought that was so cute. So to my friend Jill, if you're watching my replay, thanks for the Easter card. And then I got some other happy mail today. So I'm reading these notes. I am sorry to hear that, Rosa, and I don't know that you've mentioned what's going on, and you certainly don't need to here, but we'll all send you some good vibes. So I got some happy mail from Rosa today, and it brought a smile to my face, and I actually chuckled out loud. So Rosa has been a winner on my Wheel of Names with Where in the World is Late Night Lori, and she sent me this very cute card with the new Help Me Grow. Is that what it is? Help Me Grow set. I hadn't purchased this one yet, and two of the gals that came for my most today, we had 5 of us all together. We had so much fun. But two of the gals brought this set, and I'm like, I have to get this now. I mean, I wanted it, but I just haven't added it to my cart yet because there was so many things that I wanted. So thank you, Rosa, for the card. But what made me chuckle is how many times am I going like this because I'm emptying out another bottle of glue and I'm thinking, I'm just using up so much glue. How does that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happens. I'm crafting every day, right? So what did I get with my little happy mail here? Rosa, thank you very much. Do you mind if I share? Do you mind if I share what I got in my happy mail today? Go ahead, okay. Ugh. I got 2 bottles of my favorite glue to help with my crafting. And it made me chuckle. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. So, 2 bottles of glue. Rosa, thank you. And your thank you card is going in the mail with your embellishments from your last Wheel of Names wins. So your gifts are on the way. Thank you so much. That brightened my day. And the envelope I thought was really fun too. I like some of these. I need to get some more of these fancy packs because I used all of mine. So, all right. I'm done with my happy mail. Let's get back down to business. So anyway, thank you. That did make my day. I'm going to use, I think, all of these colors. We'll see how it looks. And I'm going to use the Barely Blush as our base, just because all of the other colors I think will work all right with it. We're going to make some Band-Aids. So this will be scored at 4 1/4, cut at 5 1/2. I just happen to have one ready. So let's just burnish this end so it lays nice and flat. I know, perfect gift, right? And then we're going to make a layer and then a frame and then some Band-Aids. I know, big surprise, right? So I think I want the Band-Aids maybe on the lighter colors. I think the Peaceful Pine on the Barely Blush will look good as a background and a frame, I think. So let's just do some stamping here. We're gonna put, do we want this one? Which one do we want? We want this one. So we're gonna do this. And we need our different colors. So let's go our Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glue, Golden Glow. See, I got glue on the brain now. And a Hydrangea Hue. So I'm just gonna cut a little strip of each of these. We'll go like an inch and a half. Inch and a half should be enough. And then this I'm going to cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we'll just do 4 card front sizes. So we had our granddaughter all weekend, right? So we had her on Monday as well because she didn't have school because they had teacher in service or something. So she was with us through today. She was so excited to get going this morning that, you know, I had only gotten a few hours of sleep because I was up late doing the crafting here. And so she comes in by me, and of course she's trying not to wake me up, but she does wake me up. So I've been going all day again. So I think what I want to do is make one of these card fronts a little smaller so we can see the pink. So let's go 4 by 5 1/4. Because this is going to go here. And according to the sample, we're going to run it through our Forever Plaid embossing folder. The sample looks a little different, like maybe they scored it all, but we're just going to run it through here. So we're going to give this some texture. And I have Bossy Bessie out on my cart already today, so I'm not going to go back and forth on the table. Granddaughter's great. We did not do a video this weekend though. Sometimes she wants to do a video and sometimes not. This weekend she didn't even want to do it. And in fact, when I had the gals over today for my Monday open studio time, she didn't even come in. But MacMan had taken her to the park, so she was tired. So here's this, and we are going to add a little bit of, maybe a little bit of highlights on here with the Peaceful Pine ink. Let's get the brayer. And remember, when we use our brayer, we say, Allie. I don't know, is Allie here yet? I know Allie was by Juju, but just going to add some ink on here, and I'm just going to add some random highlights here just to give it some more personality. All right. Now, I love these new ink pads. You all know that. I'm going to Juju, did you already put all your labels on yours? I haven't even put my labels on yet, but the color coaches are ready. So when I get the new color coaches, I make them available to my customers and my team. And I print them on adhesive sheets, like full-size adhesive sheets, so that they can go on the back of the ink pads. Let me go grab one of my other ink pads so you can see. Because every time we get new colors, the color coach changes. Oh, Allie, you just missed it. Allie! But I put the color coaches on adhesive sheets. I reduce the size so that they'll fit on the back of the ink pads. And then I put them on my ink pad. So when I pull out my ink pad, if I'm looking for some inspiration as to what colors I might want to use together, I can start with my base color. So this happens to be Pretty in Pink. And then I can see colors that will coordinate with it nicely that I might not have thought of. So I have my color coach all printed. Hopefully all the pages printed. And I will be adding those to the backs of my cases, but I need to put my labels on first. But these change every time we get new in colors because a color goes and new colors come in. So once everybody is eligible to purchase the ink pads, if you purchase the ink pads either in a bundle, which I would recommend because you save money, or individually, wow, I need that. Where did you get it? So Allie, if you're a demonstrator, so if you go into the Stampin' University under the Print Lab, you will find them. And I don't know if it's called Color, I think it's called Color Coach, but they're in there. And I print them on a full-size sheet like this. These are made in the US, so that's why I buy this brand. I get them off of Amazon. And then I print them on there, and then I trim them down, and I stick them to the back of my pads. Now, some people do the cards. They print them on cardstock, and they can look through them. Now, I've done that to where I have them all in alphabetical order because that's how it would work for me. Some people put them in color families. So like we have subtles, neutrals, brights, regals, and then in colors. I found that when I do this, it looks pretty cool and I think, oh yeah, I'll use that, but I don't. For me, I have found it just much more effective to do this. I pull it out of my ink storage and there's all of my colors there. And then I'm not looking for this. I'm not flipping through this. It's here. So that's what works for me. But if you are a demonstrator, you can get it through your print lab. Stampin' Up! Provides that to us. I don't sell the file because that's something Stampin' Up! Gives to me for free. But I will print them on the adhesive sheets. And I will send that to you as a gift if you order the Stampin' Pads either in a bundle or individually from me. Or if you're on my team, if you want me to mail you a set of those, I will do that for you as well. So you have to be an active member on my team, but let me know if you want me to send those to you. I will email me and I will mail them out to you. Otherwise, if you're a customer, buy the ink sets, the ink pads, and I will mail that to you. So let's get my trimmer out of the way because I think that's just messing me up right now. All right, so here's our little base. This is gonna go on here and we're gonna make a frame. And I think I'm actually gonna do the frame in the Barely Blush because I think I want more of that color here. So what did I, here we go. I guess I do need my trimmer again. So I'm gonna cut this at 5.5. I'm gonna do a 4 1/4 just so it's like a front size. And then I can set that one off to the side. And then we're gonna do 3 3/4, because this was 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go down another 1/4 inch. So it should be 3 3/4 by 5. Oh, I think I want to make it a little smaller maybe. We'll see. Let's play with these Band-Aids. Let's stamp us some Band-Aids. And we're going to go Hydrangea Hue, which is, yes, a very pretty color. Whoever said their Hydrangea Hue is like their favorite. Now these new ink pads are felt. Yes, I feel them. So you may have to stamp a little differently. You're not going to be able to gush like you do with the foam, which I love. But you may have to walk your stamps kind of around your pad because the ink distributes pretty well. But it may settle a little bit. All right, that's good. Now let's do the Crisp Cantaloupe. I love this. These other colors, Cocktail Cantaloupe. I don't know, that must be French maybe? I don't know. Altrose? We get 2 that are in our United States English so that you can put one like here, and then if you want one on the inside so you can tell what color it is. Sometimes when we have our ink pads open, the colors look very similar here and you can't really tell what it is stamped. So sometimes it's nice to have that identifier inside your case. And then here, so I match them up, if I put it on here, like I would put it there and here on each side. So I'll use the other language to put on the other end, just in case somebody puts it in my storage wrong. Stampin' Up! Has changed absolutely everything since you caught the last live. Oh, stamp sets, pads, colors, yes. May is when Stampin' Up! Does, it used to be a new annual catalog. We're going to 3 catalogs a year now instead of an annual and 2 smaller ones. We're going to 3 standalone catalogs. So that release is coming May 5th. So as a demonstrator, I get to get things ahead of time so that I can start playing and you know, working with the products. And then I start demonstrating them. But then it's also the time where we get new stamp sets and all of that. So yeah, it's wild. So we are actually going to a new ink pad design. So for right now, just the in colors are doing these magnetic cases that are awesome. This was an intellectual property that they bought from Close to My Heart when Close to My Heart went out of business, and Stampin' Up! Acquired some of their product line. So I've been hoping for a couple of years that Stampin' Up! Would go to these, and they are. So the new in colors, which will go from 2026 to 2028, are the only ones in 26, this calendar year, that will have the new ink design. And then starting in 2027, probably with the May catalog release, the other colors will start rolling out with the new design. So this new magnetic design, yes, it is a more expensive stamp case. But they're also much nicer. But the materials to make the case cost more because you've got the metal and the magnetic components in there. So the casing itself is plastic, but the things inside, you know, I don't know how they make magnets and stuff. And the magnets might only be in the corners. I don't know, but I'm thrilled with them. All right. So there's our 3 Band-Aids. And now we're going to get some of these little design pieces here. And we're going to gussy up our Band-Aids. The magnetic cases, look at this. I can open this case one-handed, which is awesome. My people that have arthritis are going to be thrilled with these. If you're going to have them out to work, If you flip the case over, it stays together. So they're nicely stackable too. Well, no, I just lifted the cover off, but they cling together. So they're pretty strong, okay? Oh, I want this one open. So we're gonna do some little Band-Aid embellishments on here. All right. And I have, like I think I said, I have many women that craft with me that have arthritis. So these are going to be really nice for them. And I have some thumb issues, so these work good for me too. And then we're just going to do Hydrangea Hue. Probably. You want me to try it? I messed up my dots there. There we go. I have a magnetic board here. Let me see. I have to walk around my table. Hold your thought. They're kind of heavy. They slide down my magnetic board. Let me try the other side. Yeah. So they're kind of heavy, so they did a slow slide down the board. They hung to it, not from the front at all. So the strong magnets must be closer to the back of the case, or because the felt with all of the ink is probably just too heavy. But you might be able to put like a heavier strip on the back of it. I don't know. All right, so what else do we want to put on here? We have flowers we could put on our Band-Aids. We have a heart we could put on our Band-Aid. And we have a little first aid cross. All right, you have another question? So the ink spots you get from Paper Pumpkin, if you want to buy the ink refill, doesn't matter if it's old or new. So that's a question that other people have asked. So we've been told before that the inks are formulated specifically for foam or felt. But like these are felt. I've never actually needed to refill these because I have so many of them. So now it won't matter, because if you're getting all the new stamp cases, they're the same kind of material. So the new re-inkers shouldn't have any trouble with any of these. So yeah, true. Well, you'd have to almost put magnet on the top and the bottom or along the sides so that it would still lay flat, Sala. So if you've got the old refills, or the current ones that go with these, because these are foam, they may not work. The ink might bubble up. It might change color. I don't know. I would think it would be more stable going from the foam to the felt pads than the felt formula to the foam pads, because the foam pads were the ones that really created some color shift when Stampin' Up went to the foam pads. There have been a couple of colors that haven't worked, like Purple Posy. They never even released that color because they couldn't get it to work with the foam. And then this current year, we've got Cloud Cover, that there was some ink shift. So yeah. All right, so should we do one on each? And it probably doesn't matter what color we do. Now, since these don't foam up, I'm probably going to be able to stamp up or ink up just by tapping my stamp into the ink pad. Let's give it a little bit more. Oh, and Sally, you've probably not seen our positioner either, have you? I'll have to show you that. Right, and Allie, I'm just going by what Stampin' Up! Has told us with the formulas for the foam pads were different from the formula in the felt pads. And I've not tried it, so I don't know. I should probably have my Pearson mat under here. That might help get a better image, huh? Whew! That was lucky. All right, so the new Stampin' Positioner is pretty cool. Yeah, if you try it, let me know. I'm not going to try it just because I don't want to have like my new felt pads ruined by using foam formula. Because when the foam stuff came out, they said it's definitely a different formula. So, like I said too, going from foam, going from foam to the felt would probably not be as detrimental to the formula, just because the felt is a more stable material. Foam to me is, well, it's like plasticky, right? I mean, it's foam. It's not like it's cotton. It's a manufactured substance. So I don't know. But I guess when we get some of the refills, it might be worth it to try it on an ink spot so you don't ruin a whole big ink pad. But I never use these enough to have to re-ink them. I have never re-inked one of my ink spots because I've had so many and I continue to give them away. So back to this. So this is our new positioner. We've got grid paper that goes on here as well. There's ruler up here in both metric and imperial, and a ruler down the side. There's 2 magnets. And there's a little corner notch here where you can line up your paper. And then there's pegs that hold things in place. And then if you wanted to put an image on, and let's say you're going to be doing many, or you're afraid you're not going to get a good image, then our plate goes on the top. So that's kind of like the Stamparatus. This product is out on the market with other vendors as well. This is just the one that's specific to Stampin' Up! Because we also have another positioning plate that's smaller that you can make like graduated designs if you're going to repeat a design on there. So then when you push this down, it's not constantly in contact with your paper. All right. Now, if your paper sticks to the stamp, which it will have the tendency to do, this line here helps you line it up right where you had your stamp. And then let's just do, hydrangea hue on here. So I can ink it up. We can put it on here, press it down. I don't like that image. It's not dark enough. So now let's go ahead and ink it some more. And as long as my paper didn't move, I can press it down until I'm happy with the inking. Okay? And that way, if you're doing multiples, you can pull out this piece and you can put in your next piece and it's going to be in exactly the same place. All right. So now this one, let's just finish out this Band-Aid because I'll use it. Now I could have put it on my positioning tool, but I'm going to be lazy right now and I'm just going to put it right here. Okay. So I could have put this, if I'd have taken this off, because there's springs on here. So there is a right side and a wrong side to use it. And there's springs here. So there's springs on the bottom corners, there's springs on the top corners. And then these pegs here are for that smaller piece. And then this has springs on all four corners because then it goes down like so. And I wasn't done with my bunny. That's why my bunny is on there. I do like the hinged version. However, now that I have this one, I like this one better because the hinged version, when you put the plate on and flipped it over, it was on your paper. This one, I could have ink on here and it's not touching my paper until I press it down onto the paper. So that's a really nice feature. Yeah, once the patent goes down. In the United States, this one is, let me just verify the catalog. I can't show you the inside of catalog, but I can look it up here. Tools, tools, tools. Okay. Punches. Tools, they're there. And I want the Stampin' Positioner. Where is that? I know, I'm just going to try to go to the ad page because I know that's where it was. So the Stampin' Positioner with the bottom, the base, the plate, the magnets, and this plate as well is $49. And then you can get a pack of the grid paper if you want the grid paper, and that's $15. And that's US prices, of course. So, like I said, there's similar products out there. This is not exclusive to Stampin' Up, but this set with the Stampin' Up thing, this is a new product for us. Okay, makes sense? And there's some other really fun stuff coming, so stay tuned. And I think this one was here. All right, let's put this away. And then I ordered a nice little tray from an Etsy shop because a friend of my team leader runs it, and she has a little storage box where you can put all the things in it. Right. Yeah, because the other one that claims theirs was the first and better made a big stink about stuff. So I still think the Stamparatus was different enough and superior enough to that other product because you could stair step the hinges. It was open on two sides, so you could have 12 by 12 paper. I thought it had different features that it was unique enough. So anyway, let's get back to this card and see how it looks. So I'm going to make a frame out of this, but I'm going to hang on to that Band-Aid too, just because I can use that on another project. So I'm going to get my trimmer and I'm going to cut this frame. So if I've got this at 3 3/4, we're going to go over, I think we'll just go over 1/4 inch. And I'm going to go up to 1/4 and then down to 4 3/4 ish. I'm going to flip it around. You want to sell your Stamparatus? Okay, so are you a demonstrator or not? Because there are demonstrator sites to sell them, and yes, people are looking for them because they like them. And some people sell them for a lot of money, which I think is unfair because they're just trying to take advantage of the market. And others sell them for a fair price. So you may be able to find a platform on which you can sell it, like there are like some, let's see. If you don't have an Etsy store. I was going to say, you know, I could try to post it for you, but I don't have the product. Oh, I think I'm maybe getting this messed up a little bit. It'll be fine. Yeah, I saw some for over $200. Now that was a $49 product. So the one thing that I hope Stampin' Up! Does with the new one is I hope they will sell extra plates. Because like with my Stamparatus, I had many extra plates. So that if I had a class, I could have plates set up for many things, and then I didn't have to keep moving stamps around. So I hope Stampin' Up! Will do extra plates of this too, because that was helpful for me. So, Sally, if your stamps are, photopolymer stuff is becoming unsticky, you should just rinse it underwater, soap and water, and let them dry, and they should get sticky again. Because usually it's just a matter of they've got little fibers of paper and whatnot on it. Yeah, I wasn't greedy with mine either. I have 3 of them that I'm still retaining. I think I have 3, maybe 4. And my daughter wanted one, and I wouldn't even sell mine to her. But I found one that was reasonably priced, and I bought it for her, and I gave it to her for Christmas. So anyway, I think we're going to put this here. I'm going to trim this a little bit with my snips. So I need to stop visiting so much and craft more, huh? Because some people don't like all the chit-chat. But you ask questions and I want to answer them. All right, so we're going to put this here, and we're going to put this up on, I think that'll be enough of a frame. So I think I'll put this up on strips so it'll be lifted up. I'm going to save this because I'm going to die cut that. And then where'd my little Band-Aids go? We're going to die cut these. And then we're going to do a sentiment. Maybe we'll do the sentiment on the pink instead of the white. That might be better. We'll see. All right. So let me get the die that I need. Oh, and see, I've never had to use Tombow on the photopolymer. Now, when they had the old stamps before they had cling, so they were the red rubber, but they had the slippery cover. A lot of people used to put the Tombow on those. Are those the ones you have, Sala, or do you have photopolymer? But anyway, all right, let me cut these out. Dies. And we just need this one. All right, so talk amongst yourselves while I cut. So there's a little extra. We might put that inside. We'll see. I'm getting there. Something like this is a good way to share all of the in colors that are coming out. So let's just get some strips here. All right, so you've got red rubber stamps. You've used the Tombow on those, but for the most part, you've got the photopolymer. And do you still find that those get unsticky, Sally? Because washing them should work. It could be maybe the acrylic. Have you tried just rubbing alcohol, like an alcohol swab on it to clean the acrylic? I'm gonna get Allie roller out of the way here. Just a thought. All right, so let's do strips on this. Oh, I didn't even think about zooming in either. Can everybody see okay, I hope? And then I guess we'll do this way. Because I don't want my frame to collapse, so I'm going to use the strips. All right, and then let's put some dimensionals on these little puppies. Oh, okay, so other people are having issues. Yeah, I know that was a big issue for people with the old style red rubber stamps before Stampin' Up! Had cling. But then once cling came, those were super sticky, and you almost had to put them like on your clothes to pick up some fibers to make them a little less sticky, because you couldn't get them off the blocks and stuff without almost ripping them. All right, so this I'm going to go ahead and stick down. I'm getting better about not being as much of a collector, but I'm still a collector too, Sala. But with so much new stuff, and it's, you know, there's so many things that are just, they're fun. And I look at some of my older things and it's like, okay, because I've gotten so much better at using everything because of doing the videos, it's helped. And doing my classes, I make it a point to use everything, because a lot of times I would get things and then because I thought, you know, they were the cat's meow and I wouldn't use them, and I ended up selling them, never using them. So these, I'm just going to flip these ends out a little bit. See what I'm doing there? Because then when we lay this down, we can position it first. And then when we get it kind of where I think it's centered, we can just kind of hold those corners down, and then these strips can come out and we don't have to worry about stuff being misaligned. Chantel, I definitely have stamps I'll never get rid of. I have some embossing folders that I will probably never get rid of because they're staples. You know, for me, they're just things that are so timeless. I won't use them in my classes because if a person can't buy them, why would I want to show them, you know? So let's do our little band-aids on here. I think we'll put the heart at the top. And then we'll get our little sentiment in here. Shall we put them straight or kind of random? And then I'm thinking the barely blush for the sentiment instead of just white. What do you think? Because that white seems like it just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Let's try both. Random. You kind of like that. I think it yeah, a little less formal. So the foam strips like I have, or there's actually foam sheets too. Have you ever worked with the foam sheets? Have I ever shown them to you? They're great for, let's say you didn't want to do a whole lot of dimensionals on stuff. Let's say like this little Band-Aid. In fact, maybe we should make another card with this little Band-Aid. You can do foam sheets. I'm going to go get some and I'm going to show you. All right, so let's just do this with, let me clean this off. The adhesive strips have to be in my arsenal all the time. And, you know, if you go to the suggestion box too, I'm going to put a suggestion that the foam adhesive strips, I want them to come in black also. Just like we've got the black dimensionals. So that when we're doing things, when we're working on darker projects, you can't see the white. I want black strips too. Because if I'm working on a dark color, I don't want the strips to be visible. All right, let's do hydrangea hue for this. That got kind of blotchy. I think I pressed too hard. This one worked better. Maybe it's the paper. Oh, I like that one better, except I didn't get it dark enough. Let's just see here. Okay, now the sample shows it fussy cut. But I wonder if this die, that die would have been perfect if I would have stamped it better. We could have made like a little band-aid with get well soon on there. But I'm gonna fussy cut. So we think in the pink, the band-aids would be cute as like stick figure people. Just draw arms and legs. Like having them this way or this way. Either way, thinking portrait. Okay. That could be cute. I don't always think outside the box like that. It depends. Sometimes I do, and I have to think sometimes maybe it's something that I happened to see recently and it's in my head that gives me the idea. All right, so we could do Feel Better Soon on here, or oh, this one I could probably die cut. It's a little off. Let's stamp that again. I'm going to do it with the black ink because I think it looks better. You're so creative. That's probably why you have that feeling. All right, I'm going to die cut this out because I think that'll be more cute. And then, let's see. It just fell. Oh, this die went sliding and it slid right into my ink pad. So if you ever lose a die, check the sides of your ink pads. Gel. Well, this is from the other night when we were talking about doing fast forward of Juju's videos. And I was thinking about when you had mentioned that you were learning how to do your English better by putting Juju on a faster speed. But I had a hard time when I was first listening to her. She was doing gel prints, and to me it sounded like jail. So I was writing it down so that people, because I might have an accent to some. Oh, that's cute too. I wasn't thinking. So anyway, so what do we like better? The rounded or the fussy cut? What's our preference? So you didn't really miss much, Sally. That was just day before yesterday, I think. I just haven't changed out my mat either. And we have these new grid papers that are the size of the glass mat. I'm sure. And I'm in the Midwest, so I don't sound like I have an accent to me. But I think that's how it is anywhere you go where the people sound a little different. We'll do this one a little more straight. So this is all of our in colors featured. So we've got the Barely Blush, Golden Glow, Crisp Cantaloupe, the Hydrangea Hue, and Peaceful Pine. So it features all of the new in colors. Fussy Cut's better. I kind of agree, but I wanted to leave that out there. I think this just kind of makes it a little more plain. Of course, if I put it over here, we could do one of these little shapes on there, but I like the Fussy Cut one better. So we'll go with that. And I should be able to use a strip for that too. And look at that. This one's already cut. It looks like it'll fit. What do you know? And then we'll find some gems. What kind of gems do I need? Since I cleaned up the studio because we were doing my Monday open studio time, I don't have all of my stuff in here because some of it gets scooped. I feel like I need something on here. But I'm not sure what. What am I supposed to read? Oh, red. Oh. Got it. Yeah, there are some words like that, yeah, they get ya. And it makes it hard to understand. I know. All right, I'm thinking, I don't want anything too glitzy on here. And these aren't the right color. And I don't want white, although the white ones could be colored with an alcohol blend because I do have alcohol blends in all the colors. And I don't want to lose that. Is fine glue bottle pen thing for writing? The fine glue is, let me go get a bottle and see if that's what you're talking about. Are you talking about this one? All ya all. I've heard that too. Is this what you're talking about, Juju? All right. So this is not really for writing. This is for if you have intricate designs, intricate cutouts, and you want to put a little glue on it. Let me caution you with this. There is a metal piece in here that's actually supposed to stay in the lid. And that's what keeps the tip open, because there's a little metal tip in here. And this is so stuck I can't even get this out because my fingers hurt too much. Let me go get another bottle because I have one more. I hardly ever use this, but it's really not for writing unless you're gonna, like, you know, cake decorating and then put something over it. Like you could probably handwrite something and use like embossing powder and then heat emboss it. But I find this is really hard to work with just because the tip gets clogged a lot. And if you don't get that metal piece in there right, I've had these where that metal piece that keeps that little metal pipe open gets all gets all bent, and then it doesn't work. So if you want a bottle, I can mail you one because I have extra. I don't use it. So let me know if you want me to mail it to you. All right, so here's this. So we need to decide what we want to do here. Let's try the the dark Barely Blush and see. That gives me almost no color at all. Maybe the Crisp Cantaloupe. That gives a little bit of color. So maybe we'll do Crisp Cantaloupe, y'all. I'll just make 3 of these and kind of color them with the in colors and see how it looks. And then Peaceful Pine. Maybe those will look like different little medication pills, hey? All right, so I'm gonna give this just a second to settle down. I'm gonna go get foam adhesive sheets. New Zealand say fush instead of fish, fush. Or fish. All right, so let's just put some of these on here. I'll do one over here, and then maybe these 2 up here. Usually I use my Take Your Pick tool, but this is handy. There. That was a long time coming since I didn't even have to come up with a design. Fush, like flush. Fush, okay. Huh. All right, so there's that one. So what I want to do is let's get some crumb cake. I'll be right back. So you were in California. Oh yeah, we say you guys a lot around here in the Midwest. All right, so who's used the adhesive sheet? So this is a foam adhesive sheet. So it's a little block that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. And it's just the thickness of a dimensional, but it's adhesive all the time. So you guys, oh yeah, why wouldn't they understand that? Okay, so I don't want to lose this. So let me cut some crumb cake here. If you want to hang around, I'm going to make another quickie card. We'll see if it goes quick. And I'm casing this one from Stampin' Up also. Oops, I want to do 4 1/4. Maybe I should back out a little bit more so you can see I'm actually working and not just goofing around here. All right. All right, so that's that. And then I'm going to cut this 4 1/4. By 4 1/2. Yankee Talk. Okay. And then I'm going to just put this right on my adhesive sheet. So I'm going to peel that off. Now you could cut this down to be a different size. So it kind of works like the adhesive sheets, but this is adhesive foam. All right. I got a little off, but that's right. So now I'm going to do this die. Let me pull Bossy Bessie over here because I want you to see me putting it through and know that it's not really difficult. Hopefully it will be a win and not a fail. All right. Where'd the die go? All right. So, adhesive foam, cardstock, the normal plate, the normal sandwich, and I'm going to put that little Band-Aid on there. And I'm going to run it through. And it should cut all the way through. You can see where it does. All right. So now when I take it off of here, here's my little Band-Aid, all on a dimensional. So if you don't have the foam adhesive sheets and that's something that you think you might use, the number is 152-815. All right, so I'm going to cut out a couple more of these just because that's what I need for this. I'm going to cut a couple more out on the adhesive sheet. Maybe like 5. So you're Hispanic, but you have a strong English accent? Like England English or United States England English? Oh, Boston. Well, my husband is Italian, and he doesn't speak Italian, but he grew up here. His grandparents or parents came from Italy, and they probably talked more like the Italian, you know, you could tell they're Italian, but he doesn't. Either that or I'm just used to it. I don't know. Boston and New York, though, they do sound kind of snooty, don't they? Some of them act kind of snooty, too. Yeah, he talks that mafia talk when he's trying to be funny. And I won't even try to mimic it because I won't sound at all like that. But if he came in here and I asked him to, you know, talk like a mob boss, he could do it for you. And I don't necessarily like it when he does it. I mean, sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's just not. All right, so I'm just going to do 5 of these little ones. Aren't these cute? And this is one where I wish Stampin' Up! Would have given us multiple dies, because – now I want to cut a bunch more. like a bunch more. 2, 4, a bunch. So I'm just going to start cutting, and we can keep talking about accents and stuff if you want. Off to bed, Rosa. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for the happy mail. I appreciate that very much. It made my day. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, where did that just... Oh, it's here. I thought it was stuck in the die. Here, I'm popping it out of a die and it's not even there. It would be boring if we all sounded the same. And I guess the way I look at it is, as long as you're not making fun of somebody for how they sound, because that's just, what's the point in that? I mean, you can't fault them for where they may have been born and raised, right? So far I haven't lost anything tonight. I haven't had to take a sip of anything. But I'm going to take a sip anyway. So it's monotone. I guess I should, like, I don't know that I've really heard Finnish so much. I mean, that would kind of be like the Swedes and the Norwegians, right? They don't really have a remarkable accent, do they? And I'm Swedish. I'm like a quarter Swede. That's what my mother always told me. Now my daughter did some kind of, you're dehydrated. My daughter did like that 23andMe thing, and I wish she wouldn't have, because now they've got my DNA, and I'm not a fan of that. But anyway, my mother always told me we had some Cherokee in our bloodline, and my daughter's like, nope, no Cherokee on there. And I said, well, you do realize those are just for entertainment purposes, and they're not necessarily the real thing. Oh yeah, the chef from the Muppets, bork, 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 or whatever, right? Come on. There we go. Yeah, I suppose, huh? Are the Muppets still around much? We used to love watching the Muppets. In fact, when I was in high school, we did a musical. Our choir did a musical with the Muppets, and I had a solo for one of the songs, the Something Connection. Dun, 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 dun. Not a chicken. That would be balk, 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 balk. My girls like it when I talk to them in chickenese. So I'm trying to think the Swedish chef. I mean, I can see his head, or the Muppet chef. Was he called the Swedish chef? I don't remember. I can see it, his head bobbing around in my head. I just can't mimic the accent. I'm not good at that sort of thing. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to make for now. We'll see if I need any more. All right, so now I need to get my pecan pie. And I don't want to lose my die. So let's get this put away. And Juju, did you want me to send you that glue? I missed your note. If you did. Because it's not doing me any good. Rainbow Connection. That's it. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to write on here. Where's my pen? Six dies. Okay, I will put your name on it. I'll give you the new one, not the one that I couldn't fight with. Oh, I've got two more over here. So this will be yours. All right. And Juju's on my team, so that's why she's getting it. Oh, I need my pecan pie. I wonder if Golden Glow would work. Probably not. Well, it might. Good night, Allie. Thanks for hanging out with us. I think the pecan pie. All right. We are going to do just some little coloring around here. Hopefully I won't mess it up. We're just going to put some color around the edges. My fingers are going to be pecan pie colored. Oh, I didn't realize Woolly Friends was out again. That one is so cute. Do you have googly eyes for them, or do you need a few little googly eyes too? I could send those off to you too, because I got a whole container of them somewhere. Oh, here. Oh, I have some colored ones too. Do you need some little googly eyes? So this might take a little bit. Maybe I'll just do a few so I can give you the idea. Oh, you've got a lot of eyes. Okay. I've never seen you put eyes. Oh, maybe I have in your journals. Now, don't those look like pretty realistic Band-Aids? Very fun. And I'm going to put this one out here so we can kind of see it for our first one. When I saw this set, I thought, aw, kind of goes with my EMS training, you know. And then with a granddaughter, you know, why not? Get some Band-Aid things. I thought it was just kind of cute. So Juju, with your nursing stuff, this would be an appropriate professionally related stamp and die set, don't you think? I guess I don't really need that piece. works better when it was up on the foam. I guess that does have a little color. No, I think cleaning it out will inspire you more. Sometimes I find that if I have too many things out, I can't get creative because there's just too many choices. So clearing out some of the stuff kind of helps me clear my head. All right, so those are the tall ones, these are the flat ones. Yeah, the problem with having a professional come is that they would do a really nice job and everything would be organized, and then I would craft again, and then stuff would build up. And then MacMan would come and bring some papers in, and part of my problem is my craft space has kind of morphed into my general office space, like where I might pay bills, and because my computer is always in here, because the office space that I had became our granddaughter's room because she spent so much time. Oh yeah, you can forget what you have when you've got so much stuff. I keep mine alphabetical, and I can usually think, oh, I had something, but then I can't always remember what it was called. I had grand plans, and I still do, of, you know, indexing and inventorying my stuff, because there's some programs out there. And there's TAMs. These are my stamps. I don't know if they're still a thing, but you could subscribe to it, and it was like an index, and you can mark the ones that you have or something. So somebody, every time there was a new Stampin' Up! Product, they would add it to the list or whatever, and then you have access to that. I think that's kind of how it worked. And I'm like, well, you know, the subscription price wasn't that much when I looked at it. But then there are some indexing things that are free too. But I just don't have the time to sit. I would almost need to have like somebody on my team come and enter stuff when I get an order as like an assistant, and then just give them product or something, because I can't really pay, because then I'd have employees and then I'd have to do payroll stuff, and I don't want that. My business isn't big enough for that, to support that. Some of the gals are, you know, some of the $1 million achievers have assistants, but I'm not that big. I'm sure I'll never be that big. But I did have one of the gals from my team come and help me get ready for that Rockford thing back in March. I'm going to rinse off my fingers. It's hard to let go sometimes, but getting rid of the scraps, the way I solve that for myself, except for my white scraps, those all go in a bin, and then I purge. I get rid of some when I have too many. But with any of my colored cardstocks, I put the scraps in the same package. So like here, I put my smaller pieces in the package, and I keep the package on my shelves. So if I need a scrap, it's here. And when I get too many little ones, they go in my recycle bin. Because I just have to be a realist and know it's only paper, right? But it's hard to let go of that stuff sometimes, because I'm thinking, you know, I paid good money for all of that, right? All right, so now we've got this. Oh, I need another layer piece. I need to get another piece of crumb cake. I'll be right back. Crumb cake or pecan pie? I couldn't decide. I was trying to find a piece. Oh, salad, that's perfect. Yes, the road to chaos is paved with. I could still use that for something. Yeah, I know how that goes. All right, so let me trim this down. So I'm gonna do 3 3/4 by 5. Like this, it's going right in the recycle bin right now. Under the circumstances, welcome. You've never been here before. Oh, you found your people. I'm glad. Welcome. So since we're talking crumb cake, does that mean you're like Stampin' Up person? Just a crafting person? You know, we're talking about colors. All right, so we need to decide if we're gonna do, I think the pecan pie looks pretty good, pecan, but we could also do just tone on tone. This would get raised up. So under the circumstances, you're only good at shopping for stuff. You gotta learn how to use it, right? But I think all of us are hoarders to some degree. So here's our thing. Here's what we're doing. So I'm thinking the pecan pie looks pretty good as a layer. And maybe I did make that too small. All right, so is it anise? A niece, okay. Like I have a niece, her name is Alexis. There's also anise, which is an alcohol. I like that too. It tastes like licorice, black licorice. No distraction. That's how we roll. I come on every night right around midnight. So distraction is just part of it. No worries. It's all good. Oh, and I was going to go and do some of this over here. So we can kind of see, what do we like better, the pecan pie or the crumb cake? I know what I think, but because we kind of do a collaborative effort here, I want to know what everybody else thinks too. I am in the Midwest. I am in Wisconsin. And Craftin Under the Back 40 is Juju. She's in Mississippi. Chantel, remind me where you're from. Suzanne is from Texas. I forget where everybody's from when I'm put on the spot. We are all about distraction. I love it when everybody joins me. I was just going to say when you guys join me. We were just talking about that a little bit ago too. Chantel, Australia. Sorry. I have it on a post-it note somewhere, I'm sure. But, you know, they're not always organized. I keep them to try to help me. Oh yeah, here I have it. Chantel is from WA, which is West something, right? Suzanne, Arkansas, right? Arkansas. See, I forget. You know, at least I remember some of everybody's names. All right. So what do we think? Pecan pie. I don't have an accent. Allie is in Texas. Yeah, Allie is in Texas. But it's all fun. So feel free to join us anytime. And I'm glad you're chiming in and not just watching for the entertainment value. Because part of the entertainment just comes from collaborating. And we've got people that do junk journaling. We have people that do regular journaling. I do cards and stuff. The pecan pie, I agree. I think that just gives it a richer look. I think what I could do though is get another layer of crumb cake and make it a little bit Western Australia. Okay. All right, so you're in California. Well, you definitely are with your peeps. You know, I'm a night owl. It is 10 to 2 in the morning for me, so you're about midnight. I think you're 2 hours different from me. Yeah, I think you're midnight. Um, oh, I'm great. I'm glad you found us. Sala is not a weirdo. She's not any more weird than the rest of us. But we all are some kind of crafter. And we're night owls or day owls. Some of our folks from Australia, you know, it's the afternoon for them or later in the morning. Depends on where they're at. All right, so this is, I probably have too many on here. I could probably spread these out a little bit because now as I'm looking at the sample that I'm casing, they're spread out a little further. Because I was thinking that's a lot. That's a lot of Band-Aids on here. I think we'll put this one here. Because some of these I have up on foam just to give them a little bit more lift. So several of us here have grandchildren. Some have young children. Some probably don't have any children. We're all different ages. All right, so I think that would work. Now some of these other pieces, when I glue them on, I will be able to use the end pieces to wrap around somewhere else. So I think we might have just enough. Because some of these, like this end over there, can come over here. I think that'll work. And then I'm going to do a couple of the hearts because that's what the sample showed. And I'm going to do those on white. That's great. My mother was actually from California. She was born and raised in Pacifica. My aunt and uncle were in Redwood City. I was just out in Long Beach for our conference last month. So you're going to start a baby album nest. Is that different from a baby album? Oh, now we're going to start talking food. My stomach is going to start to growl, you everybody. I was going to say you guys again. Let me go get red. Oh, and I thought I was out of water, and I have another bottle right here, so sip time here. So yeah, I usually come on around midnight because Juju is on around 10 o'clock before me. And that's when my house gets quiet because MacMan, my husband, it's not his real name, That's his Juju given name. He goes to bed so the house is quiet. Oh, and I have tons of chocolate in here. And, you know, I had my Monday open studio time here, so there were 5 of us. And we had cheese and crackers and street taco dip and tortilla chips and brownies and veggies and fruit. And we had all kinds of stuff. Oh, I need that out still because we're going to do some words also. We'll do it just like the sample shows. And we're going to do ouch, be brave in red. If I can get it to unstick from my finger here. And these aren't going to be in line. I'm going to cut them apart, so it doesn't matter that they're crooked on here. We'll see how this looks. If it doesn't look good, I'm going to get my Pearson mat. That's fine. So Anise, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So all of the things that you see me working with are from Stampin' Up! And because I'm a demonstrator and I sell it, I don't typically use other products unless Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell an item like that. Some of the other gals on here do all kinds of different things. So like Juju does her videos on junk journaling. Allie does cards and things. And she's Allie Katz Crafts. I think I have that right. Allie Katz Crafts, yeah. Okay, my die got a little crooked here. Give me a second. I'm just trying to cut these out. I'm going to get my little tape here. And I guess I really only need 3 of the hearts because we usually do things in trios. Well, Sala can't really get Stampin' Up! Supplies because she's in Finland and we don't have a market in Finland. And for her to buy from me and me to ship it there would be way more expensive than her finding similar things. And Sala does beautiful work too. Sala, maybe you can add your page in there when you do your videos, because you've got a library of videos that could be checked out too. Oh, are you a current kidnapper, Anise? Nothing wrong with that. That if you joined in October, that was a super good deal. That was a super good deal. And then if you joined earlier this year, I think you could have gotten the Stampin' Positioner. Stampin' Up! Does some good deals. There's some new stuff coming down the line for that too. Under the Circumstances is Anise. A-N-I-S-E. Craftin on the back 40 is Juju. And there's a story behind Juju. That's not her real name, but she can explain that if she wants. All right, and I'm just going to rough block cut these because that's kind of how the sample is. We just all like hanging out together and chatting. I try to keep it pretty clean. Juju doesn't care. We might say things that are inappropriate from time to time. All right, so these are just going to kind of go here. I actually think I'm going to cut apart these two as well. And we'll see where those go. So maybe if somebody's having surgery or something, this would be a good card. All right, so I'm going to go get, I'm going to trim this a little bit bigger because I feel like this needs another layer under there. Red. Oh, red would be, maybe not red. Now I'm in a quandary because I'm thinking red would look good for the contrast, but you know, if you need band-aids and somebody doesn't want to think about blood, maybe 5.5. I think that's what I want. Inappropriate, yeah, so we don't care. If you say something inappropriate, that's fine. All right, let's just slide this in here. In fact, I'm gonna do a little bit of blending on here just to give it a little bit more contrast. Just on those edges for this layer. And there have been times when, and I'm going to say the gals because it's usually the women, we think a fella that joins us. It kind of changes the dynamic of the page. But yeah, most of the gals, if we have issues or things to say about, like you said, perimenopause, it's like, oh yeah, we get it. Some of us. Some are too young for those issues, but we're all here to help. All right. Okay, that was your cat. I'm like, I'm confused. What's the cat? I get it now. He's the king. Awesome. All right, so these I don't know if they're going to go up on dimensionals or not. And this may or may not transfer very well. But I think that extra layer maybe works. I just needed a little something. I think maybe I need to make that layer a little bit smaller. It just seems a little big to me. So if I want to go down, I'm just going to do a 1/16 inch on each side. Hopefully that won't be too much. But that way I don't have to re-blend everything on the edges. We won't make fun of you while you're gone. Well, we might, but then you'll see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm teasing. Your cat's name is Jojo? Oh. He's the king. I missed Who's the King. Juju, is that your cat, the king? Your worst. That's funny. All right. And there have been nights where the gals are making fun of me, which is where I was going here. And I mean, I was like belly laughing. They were making fun of me. I don't even remember what I was doing. You gals might remember, but I don't. Because it didn't hurt my feelings. You were making fun of me for something, which is fine. I can take it. All right, so you kind of get the idea. So I'm going to start trying to attach some of these. And we're going to build our card. It is all in good fun. Fat Daddy, that's it. I had Alexander was my Siamese. He was very continental. He was the best cat. I know people don't like Siamese, but he was a cool cat. He would jump from the floor up into my arms, and he loved to be held like a baby. He wasn't your typical temperamental Siamese. He was a cool cat. He lived to be over 17. And then I had Sasquatch. He had huge feet. We called him Sass. He was a farm cat that was like, he had cognitive issues. Yeah, you're right. You weren't laughing at me. All right, so I am going to start, I think, with this one. And let's get some glue. And I have those glue bottles from Rosa just sitting here ready to go into action. I chuckled out loud when I opened her package. I thought that was so cute. Now what I could do if I was going to be really smart here, I'm going to take these back out. I don't want glue on here. I am going to make a strip of paper that is a width. I think I'm going to go let's see if this is Sasquatch had huge feet and he had an extra digit. So I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to make this as a spacer. Not that it's going to get stuck down anywhere, but that's going to be how I'm going to keep these apart. Oh, and I need to get a silicone mat. Because these are going to stick to my placemat otherwise, because I put glue all the way over there. So this card is not my idea. I am casing it. Copy and share everything, or copy and slightly edit. So I am casing it from Stampin' Up. But I thought it was adorable. And this is a new Stampin' die set. It's a new bundle. And like Juju is a nurse. And I've had multiple layers in my profession, but recently I was in fire and EMS. So I was an advanced EMT and certified as a firefighter. I did mostly the EMT stuff though. Worked at a college and trained that profession. All right, so now I'm going to move this down here, and that's going to keep everything nicely aligned for me. And I think this one I'm going to move up here instead. Oh, thank you. I don't say that for the recognition. It's just this Band-Aid set spoke to me. It's called Ouch. Plus, I have a granddaughter, you know, and sometimes she needs things fixed. Like she came up to me yesterday. She was here, Grandma, can you fix my toe? She's got like an ingrown toenail. She's 8. So, you know, we get out the Epsom salt and the warm water, and I'm soaking her toe for her. It looked much better today. Do you know what her name is? Is it a Stampin' Up person or somebody else? Because I know a Stampin' Up person who has Tourette's. It would just be coincidental if it was the person that I know. Oh, her friend has narcolepsy? Are you serious, or is that just their gig? Oh my gosh, that's got to be hilarious. You should share what their site is, because I might want to just peek in, because that sounds very entertaining. And I'm lining these up so that they're offset each row. If you weren't following along with that. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to watch that. I don't watch a whole lot of videos, but every once in a while it's nice to pop in. So this one I'm going to use somewhere else. I might need to make a few more little band-aids. I guess this one I could probably, no, that one's got to go all the way over there. We'll have to make a few more little band-aids. That's all right. Okay, and we started talking about food, and now my stomach is starting to growl. I told you guys that would happen. All right, so now I'm going to cut a couple of these little ones off so that I can piece in here. And then we did pretty good there. So this is the one that's on the foam sheets. So I'm going to put that right back on the foam, on the silicone. I don't know if we'll use this piece or not. Well, at least the narcoleptic person is not the taxi driver. That would remind me of driving in New York in a taxi, and my driver kept dozing off in New York traffic. It was very unsettling. I took the bus after that. I don't think we'll need this itty bitty little piece. All right. So now I'm just going to flip this over because it'll be easier for me. Do you need me to zoom in, or are we doing all right? I always seem to forget that. How long do I go live? It depends on how chatty everybody is, because if we're having good conversation, I hate to end it. You know, to me, it's the gathering and the camaraderie as much or more than it is about the crafting. And it's just nice to have my peeps here with me. Oops, let's move that down a little bit. And then we'll do, I don't think that one's going to be quite, oh yeah, that would work. That one can go right there. I don't need to cut my spacer. You know, and some of the gals that come on here maybe live alone now and don't have a whole lot of socialization. You know, there are some gals that I know, I don't know if they watch me regularly. They don't usually chime in, but I know they're widows. So they'll come in just because they don't necessarily have anybody to craft with, or the people that they are socializing with are not up at midnight. So how long I'm online depends on, for one, how tired I am, whether I had a nap or not, how chatty everybody is, and if I get excited about a project and it's like, oh, I gotta try this now, because sometimes that happens. Oh, that can go there. Perfect. Camaraderie, shenanigans, and chocolate. Yes. So sometimes there's also little cakes. You know, I had to take one for the team, I think last week, because I was making the treat box thing. It's in the other room, I think. And I didn't realize the cakes came in a twin pack, and only one would fit in the package, so I had to eat one of them. So, yeah, we are definitely not a closed group. You are welcome. You know, bring your friends if you want. I don't care. All right. Oh, I have some more of these popped up ones. Let's use this one. Well, Sally, you are busy with your girls, so, you know, there's a reason why you don't have much social life. I mean, when my kids were growing up, I really had no social life. We went to church, and before I was divorced, we went to church. I was with the kids. I went to work. Went to church. Went to work. Did things with the kids. That's it. I can't believe you don't have friends. Are you serious? You don't have friends? And see, that's why I do crafting, because my friends are all my crafting pals. I do, like on Mondays, I had open studio time here, and I'll be posting a picture on my Facebook page. This one's kind of far apart. Do you think that's going to matter? Maybe I'll put a heart up there. We'll detract from that. Nobody will ever know that my spacing was off. But anyway, I do Monday open studio time. The third Monday, that's a little big, the third Monday of the month usually. And it's just a good time to get together. We craft, we snack, we chit chat. Sometimes we have to make pour decisions. Pour as in what beverage we're going to pour. What are landing people? I missed something. Oh, Juju, I do a show on weekends called Back 40 Landing. People come on and check it out. So is that what you call Back 40 Landing, Juju? Not that they're landing people, but they're landing and then people join you. It is hard to maintain friendships. It takes a lot of effort. But my crafting people, we have so much in common that it doesn't, it's easy. I think it's easy to have those friendships. And then, you know, I open up my studio. They don't have to pay anything. We just, we get together. I do need to make some more Band-Aids. What happened to, I thought I had more. Maybe I'll do a couple raised up. I thought I had more Band-Aids than that. It looked so good a minute ago. I don't know what happened. Squirrel. I must have gotten distracted. Oh, I need my little spacer. I don't want to mess it up now. It's going so well. Why not? I don't have to drive anywhere. I'm not a big alcohol drinker, so I typically will stay sober. Although, I am known to give a little plug for Tippy Cow, which is a nice, it's a rum drink here in the Midwest, in Wisconsin at least. Yeah, it's like a cream liqueur. Gummies, you talking like gummies? Not like fruit gummies? Whatever works for you. All right, we're getting here. Yeah, like not fruit gummies, cannabis gummies. I've never tried any of those. I don't know that they're actually legal for us in Wisconsin. And even if they were, I don't know that I would. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna use these big ones, but they're on adhesive sheets, so I don't really think I wanna do that many raised up like that because I want them to stand up and be noticed. I don't want them to be the focus, if that makes sense. So let me just do a couple more little Band-Aid cutouts. And I don't begrudge anybody using it. I went through chemotherapy many years ago, and if they would have been available to me, I would have tried them. Because the medications that they were giving me for the nausea did not work. They made me worse. So as long as it's not leading to any kind of drug abuse, you do what works for you. And if you feel like sharing, it's hard to stay in touch with people. Yeah, the internet is perfect for that. I feel socially awkward. So when I am with people that I don't know in person, I find it hard to start conversations. Here, maybe I just feel like nobody's going to judge me or nobody's going to think I'm stupid. I mean, I'm not. I did really good in school and college and all of that, but, you know, you feel inadequate. I do. So this is great. And this is why you see my hands, not necessarily my face, because I don't know that I want to be all out there. Here is my AI face, though, if you want to get a visual. This is off of a picture of me. When AI did this, they made this youngish looking person. I'm like, okay, you've got to add wrinkles and gray hair because I'm not a young spring chicken anymore. I have a granddaughter, for heaven's sakes. So anyway, so that's what AI did. So you kind of get an idea of kind of what I look like. And some of the videos that I have in the library on the channel here do show me. But it's just kind of, I don't know. You're not getting judged when you're here and you're crafting, and we're all just enjoying the time together. And I guess I didn't need to, because that one I'll probably be able to move over here. So all you have to do is, do you have the ChatGTP app? I only did it because there were a bunch of demonstrator for Stampin' Up that were getting their little caricatures done. So I like, okay, fine. I'm not a big fan of AI. I will admit it. It kind of scares me because there's just so much information out there. Where did my guide go? Here it is. Oh, I got to take a sip. I lost something. What was I saying? I'm afraid of AI a little bit because there's just too much information out there about people, and it's a little unsettling. But everybody was doing it, and ChatGTP, I did a little research, and it says it is a US-based company. So I was a little bit less apprehensive. Not that that doesn't mean it's still not a bad thing, but I'm not real big on AI. So anyway, I went ahead and did it. You have to download the app, Chat GTP, and then I needed to upload a photo. So I did. I didn't have to put in any personal information like my age. I'm doing my sip of water. And then I just asked it to, you put in like, I put in Stampin' Up and my chickens and some things that would tell it kind of what I like to do. And I said I was an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so they had the Stampin' Up logo in there. And I had them revise it a couple of times. You know, like you need to add some wrinkles and gray hair. And so that's what ChatGTP gave me after like the third or fourth rendering. Yes, Zippity is, she's one of Juju's followers. She pops in here from time to time. Is Zippity Nicole? I'm trying to think what her real name is. I don't remember. Zippity. It's Zippity Doo Da 003 or something. I don't know. Oh, Gemini would work too? Okay, I'm not familiar with Gemini. I have seen it on my Google page though. But I'm even more apprehensive about Google. Because Google knows a lot too. And I guess, will I be able to use this here? Yes, I'm going to use that there. And I'll save this one with the adhesive sheet on it for another project because I know I'll be making more with this one. Because this is a fun little set. But her handle is Zippity. And what is her real name? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I'm thinking Nicole Blowers. She's another one of our Australian gals. Yeah, so sometimes I get sidetracked by the conversation and then I forget to craft, so I apologize sometimes for that. All right, so let's get this out of the way because I don't need that silicone mat anymore. And let's get our card bases in here. So I am not going to put this up on dimensionals because I have these Band-Aids that are up on dimensionals, and I don't want to make it so thick that somebody would have to pay extra postage if they're copying it. So I'm just going to glue these flat. Thank you, Sala. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. It's free. And then it boosts my channel. I'm getting close to 900 subscribers, so that's not bad. And Anise, I challenged myself a year ago in January to do a video every day because Facebook wasn't working for me. I couldn't go live because they changed their rules and I didn't have 100 followers. And YouTube just kind of took off for me. So I've had much better luck with YouTube. And I've just continued to do videos every day, pretty much. And then sometimes when I'm gone, I will do Where in the World is Late Night Lori, where I will post pictures and clues of where I might be. And then as people add comments, guessing where I might be, I put the names on a wheel of names. And when I get back, we do a spin and I give away stuff. Lady Lacy, yeah. I was online tonight when Juju started talking about that. Did you see mine? You could be like Lady Marmalade, like Lady Marmalade. I thought that was a funny pun, but maybe nobody else did. You've been on Top Chat. I don't even know what all that means. Because your little crown shows, for me, you're number 3. Chantel's number 2. Sally, you're number 1. And I'm not sure how that all works. All right, so there's that. Let's put, ouch, be brave on here. I'm going to put, because I've got this nice flat spot here, I'm going to put these up on the adhesive strips. I kind of like how the words look casual when they're all cut apart like that. I'm going to trim this one down a little bit more though. Marmalace, Lady Marmalace, because Juju's calling Chantel like Chantilly lace. I didn't understand that at first, but then when you listen to the conversation a little bit more, you learn some of the backstory. All right, and then we've got a couple more hearts here too. And we're gonna do the hearts. We're gonna put 3 on here if it kills me. All right, so let me get more strips for the words. Oh. Oh, I was on Top Chat too. I didn't even know that was there. Oh, that's good to know. I bet that's why I couldn't see Robert's comments that time. You've got ducks knocking on your wall. I thought you had chickens. You have ducks too? Yeah, I just changed it. I didn't realize that was even there. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Juju, because I never would have realized. Because I'm busy crafting. I'm not busy looking at that thing. So he has a menagerie for a farm. All right, so if we do, I'm going to put this partway on there. So we're going to do a little, I could probably do many dimensionals for this one. Yeah, and then we'll put a little bit of glue on this side. I think YouTube does that to us sometimes just to mess us up. Oh, come on. See, I won't get ducks. We have a couple of ducks that every year come back to our yard. And last year they nested. They had a nest with 12, I think, like I could count 12 eggs, and then some critter ate them all. Probably a raccoon. Stinking thing. I was kind of looking forward to it. But these ducks will fly into our yard. We don't have water, but we have space. And we have, like, we feed the squirrels and the chipmunks we're trying to rehome, but the squirrels and the birds, and, you know, we like that. And we've got the chickens. I think I said that already. But these ducks will fly in and they'll hang out in the yard. We get turkey flocks every year, and they hang out in our yard. And the turkey flocks are really kind of fun because they have, you know, one year we had them and they had 15 babies plus the adults. And it's like they had 3 adults, like maybe it was all the moms or something with all the kids. I don't know. But that's always fun. But these ducks will fly in and then they'll go on top and they'll sit on the peak of our garage, which I thought was kind of crazy. All right, so now we need to get our hearts up here and then we'll be done. And then I can go find a snack. I guess I can take this one. Okay, folio or trifold albums. Should you make the 2 spines the same size or make one of them slightly wider for room? I've done it both ways. I'm working on one right now that I am following somebody else's pattern, and they made the spines the same size. So I think it depends on how much stuff you're going to put in. I think that'll work. Anybody else want to chime in there? Because some of you other ladies do that a lot more than I do. I'm going to keep that out. So here's this one. And then if I do layers inside, so I could do a pecan pie, I could do a white layer inside, and then I could put more Band-Aid images in there on the inside. So there's that one. So here's our two little projects. I wish I would have come up with the idea. I didn't. I copied it from Stampin' Up. But if you're not familiar with it, we call it casing. Let me get a better marker. So if we case something, it's copy and, whoops, that should be an N, D, either share everything for the acronym, or copy and slightly edit, which is what I usually do. I usually slightly edit stuff, but we're all here to learn from each other. So they're both kind of cased. This one looks different from the Stampin' Up! Sample because I wanted to use our new colors that are coming out. And then this one is pretty much the Stampin' Up! Sample closed on me. But that's all right, because I had to redo my login. Hopefully you can't hear my stomach growling. So those are our two cards for tonight. So, you know, 2.5 hours and a lot of chit chat and 2 cards. Not much to show for it, but I love the conversation. So you would use bright pink instead of the red to layer, like on this one, put a bright pink. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep up because I think I have a little bit delay. If you did one wider, it might sit off center if you fill it completely. Okay, so bright pink here to not be the red. So instead of this pecan pie, do a bright pink, and I could change the color of the hearts then too. But the Stampin' Up! Sample didn't have, the Stampin' Up! Sample had crumb cake for everything, except for these were in red. And then the pecan pie highlights with the blending brush. So that's how mine was a little different, because I did it with pecan pie because I wanted the Band-Aids to stand out a little bit more. So if I think about it, I'll print the samples that I was using so you can see it, and then we'll play more later or tomorrow, because it's usually midnight-ish. So 24, 23, 22, between 21 and 21, 2 hours from now, I'll be back. Hello, Robert. How are you? I'm not sure what high truck means, but we're just finishing up, so you missed it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. The red and the browns do offset each other really nice. There's a good contrast, but we do have some really bright pinks that might work as well. I could always try that for tomorrow. And I enjoy the collaboration, you know, and when there's suggestions, I try to incorporate them when I can. Well, Anise, we're glad to have you. Like I said, I come on every night right around midnight Central Time. All right, so it's 20 to 3 by me right now. So whatever that works out for you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate that. I see some of those popping up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you hit the bell, you should get notified when I come live. And share it with your friends as well. So until next time. Oh, I'm glad you're going to case the cards. Last night's cards. Awesome. That's what it's all about. All right. So until next time, everybody, happy crafting. Have a great Tuesday.